सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. This is the Shanti mantra from the Upanishads. When a guru and shishya come together to learn a new thing, they chant, they pray. Sahanavavatu, let us be protected together. Sahanau bhunaktu, let us enjoy this process of learning and teaching together. Let us enjoy the knowledge together. Sahaviryam karvavahe, how? By working together. Let us work hard to learn together. And tejasvina vadhitamastu, whatever we have learned, it should illumine our intellect and should stay with us. We shouldn't forget next morning. Let us have that kind of focus and concentration. Tejas. Ma vidvishavahe, and more importantly, let us not be the cause of pain and suffering to each other as teacher and students. How wonderful this idea. We should be protected so that we can finish our education. We shouldn't fall sick. Worse still, depart. We should enjoy this knowledge together. It's not enough if teacher teaches from one side and students are not enjoying. They're all snoring away. Not enough. Or students are eager to learn, but teacher teaches, doesn't want to teach. He wanted to be a cinema actor but ended up in a classroom. He doesn't like teaching. It doesn't work. And all that they learn, they should work hard together and learn. Teacher works hard is not enough. If the students alone work hard, it's not enough. Both have to work hard. Enjoy that working hard. And whatever they learn should stay with them. It means they should have assimilated, digested the knowledge, and not just kept it in their, what you call in computer RAM, random access memory. Just stays till tonight and next morning it all disappears. It should become a part of us. That is the kind of education we talk about in our Indian education system. And one teacher like this was Sri Krishna. And one student like that was Arjuna. And Bhagavad Gita is the teaching and learning that has happened between the greatest of all teachers, Gita Acharya, Sri Krishna, and the best of all disciples, the most deserving one, who is Arjuna, who is keen on learning. And that is why Bhagavad Gita is one of the best teaching methodology, questions and answers. But Arjuna was keen to learn, Krishna was keen to teach, and that's why Bhagavad Gita happened. And I'm so glad that the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita has come to its conclusion today, what started on Gita Jayanti, and with a purpose that every child of our institution should be acquainted with the most important text of our Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, which is Bhagavad Gita. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopala nandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdham gita amritam mahat. That is the Dhyana Shloka of Gita. If all the Upanishads are considered to be cows, it's a metaphor, it's an analogy. Upanishads are the highest philosophy of our scriptures. If all the Upanishads are considered as cows, and the milkman, the cowherd, is our Krishna himself, then who is the reason for which this cow should yield the milk of knowledge? The calf is Arjuna, Partha. And Sudhir Bhokta, he's of good buddhi, not of lazy nature, not indolent, not careless, but very keen to learn, of good buddhi. And Dugdam, and the knowledge, the milk, is Gita. Amrutam Mahat, the highest of the Amrita, is the nectar of immortality. What a beautiful analogy. And today, thanks to that calf Arjuna, so many of us are able to enjoy that immortal nectar of Bhagavad Gita's knowledge. So we must be grateful to Arjuna for having asked the questions, and of course most grateful to Lord Sri Krishna for having answered it so very patiently. So first chapter of Bhagavad Gita has been finished. It's called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna's sorrow, which is a yoga. That's a very strange name to give to somebody's sorrow. Because his sorrow led him to the realization of the truth. That's why it became yoga. Yuja means to join, to merge, to attach, to yoke. And his sorrow took him to God. Sometimes we have to be thanking God for sending troubles, problems, difficulties our way, so that we can remember God. Somebody asked me, why do I have so many sorrows? Because I said, you are not remembering God. If you remember God at all times, you will not have any problems. So any problem in life is an indication from God that you are not remembering Him enough. That's a signal. So start remembering God. Kabir Das says, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koy. Jo sukh mein sumiran kare, to dukh kahe hoye. If you remember God at all times, not just in bad times, why will you have bad times at all? You'll always have good times. So, but Arjuna's problem was that on the battlefield of Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, see how wonderful it is said. Kurukshetra is the location, the name. It is still there somewhere, I think, in UP, towards the Meerut side. I think northeast of Delhi, somewhere there, this Kurukshetra is there. And that's where the battle took place. And this Kurukshetra is being called as Dharma Kshetra. A very, very important word, Dharma Kshetra. Dharma is the core of the Bhagavad Gita's teaching. Dharma is that which is one's duty. One's duty that one needs to perform in this world. That is Dharma. In a very basic understanding of Dharma. Otherwise, Dharayati iti Dharma. That which upholds, that which protects, that which is the basis of everything, that is Dharma. So as long as everybody does their Dharma, society goes on in a harmonious way. But when people deviate from their duties, that's when society falls into disarray and disharmony. So here is the battle about Dharma. It's not the battle between Kauravas and Pandavas per se. It's not about who wins, who loses. It's not about which cousin is powerful and which is less powerful. It's only about protecting Dharma, protecting what is right. And therefore the first chapter is very important. If everybody of us has to understand this essence of first chapter, it is about doing our duty. And Bhagavad Gita is the best teacher when it comes to help us make decisions in our lives. So this battle goes on within us between the mind and the heart. Should we do this or should we do that? To be or not to be? That's the question. It goes on. And every day, every moment is a battle. Dharma Kshetra is, Kurukshetra is going on within us. Lower desire versus the higher desire battle. It goes on. Selfish versus selflessness battle. Shreya versus Preya battle, as we all know. And we have to make a decision. We have to make a choice. And many times, because of our attachments to things, we make wrong choices. And then we are miserable. So Bhagavad Gita is about making the right choices in life, the right decisions in life. And what is the basis of making these decisions? Dharma is the basis. What you are supposed to do, that is what you should do. A judge pronounces a verdict. Say it's a capital punishment. It is judge's dharma to do it. If it affects somebody's life, that is, even though it seems like violence, it is the dharma of the judge to do it. So judge is free from all sin and merit. Judge has executed a prisoner out of dharma, out of duty, and therefore the judge is free from sins or merits. Without any prejudice, without any personal agenda, just follows and does his duty, he is free from all sins and merits. So that is the idea. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. He ought to do his dharma. And what is Kshatriya's dharma? Kshatriya's dharma is not just to fight with those who do wrong to them. Kshatriya's dharma is to protect the people from anybody who does wrong to anybody. It's like police. Only when a pickpocket picks the policeman's pocket, it's not only then the policeman should run after the thief. Anybody's pocket the pickpocket picks, policeman has to punish him. So Arjuna was like the policeman, Kshatriya. As per our Indian thought, his profession in the society was that of a warrior, whose job was to protect people against all evil. Rama was a Kshatriya. He fought against Ravana. So also Arjuna was a Kshatriya. He had to fight the battle. But what happens there at the battlefield, like what happens for most of us, the attachment to his own people does not allow him to fight the battle. What is the attachment? My grandfather, my uncles, my cousins, my grandnephews and my grandsons and my father-in-laws and so many of my other people are on the other side of the battlefield. They are going to fight me and I am going to fight them. And that's where the attachment comes. But dharma is beyond all the attachments, I and mine. It should do what is right. Even if the prisoner is one's own son, the judge has to still pronounce the verdict. He can't give some concession just because he's one's own son. That kind of clarity in life is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. I must do what I have got to do. So when Arjuna came to the battlefield, he came all prepared to fight the battle. And you heard all the Bhagavad Gita's first chapter. Our Dhritarashtra was shivering. I don't know what's going on there. Let me know. Dhritarashtra was blind, but Sanjaya had the special vision. He could, like a telepathy, or he could see or he could hear things that were going on in the battlefield from a distance. And he explains to Dhritarashtra, see, both the sides, all the people are ready, all the warriors are ready. And Duryodhana goes about talking to Dronacharya, talking to Bhishma, because he's scared. He knows in his heart of hearts that this is a battle of Dharma, and Dharma will win. He knows that. Dhritarashtra also knows that. But look at their attachment. They will rather get everybody killed, but will not leave the chair. Dhritarashtra's problem. He stole the chair from his brother Pandu and never gave it back. He was okay if all his 100 sons get killed in the battlefield, but he's not ready to give up his throne. Look at his attachment, moha. Because of it, the battle happened. He encouraged Duryodhana to grow up like this, with great hatred towards Pandavas, so that he can continue to, Dhritarashtra can continue to sit on the throne. Duryodhana never sat on the throne so far. It was his attachment. He did adharma. And that's why Dhritarashtra knew that he's going to lose this battle. And look at that foolish Duryodhana. Before the battle, it seems, when Krishna goes to advise Duryodhana, he says, I know what is right, but I can't do it. Janami dharmam nachabe pravritti. Don't ask me, I don't follow dharma. I know what is right, but I don't do right. I can't do right. I know what is wrong, adharmam nachabe nivritti, but I can't stop myself from doing wrong. So Krishna gives up then and there. If Krishna had advised Duryodhana and Duryodhana got transformed, battle wouldn't have happened. But that was not to be, because he was not a right Shishya. Even though Krishna was a good teacher, Duryodhana was a bad student. So he won't learn. So Krishna caught hold of Arjuna. And how did he teach? He took him to the middle of the battlefield. Arjuna says, place my chariot in such a way that I can see whom I am fighting on the other side. Who are these people who want to please that foolish Duryodhana, evil Duryodhana? And what does Krishna do? He takes him and puts him right in front of his favorite grandfather, Bhishmacharya. And then Arjuna starts worrying. How can I kill my own people, my grandfather? He's okay to kill Duryodhana. He's okay to kill Dushasana. But he can't kill Bhishma. And he says, if I kill my own people, Dharma will be destroyed in our Kula will be destroyed. All the male folk will be killed. Female will be left helpless. They will have to marry people from other kinds of professions and things like that. The children born out of it, Varna Sankara will happen. Kula Nasha will happen. Therefore, I should not fight this battle. Na Kangshe Vijayam Krishna, he says, I don't want to win. And now the last slokas, he says, it's okay if they kill me. I'm ready to die, but I don't want to fight this battle, because of which my pitras will fall from the heaven. All kinds of things will happen. Women will be in distress. Children will have wrong upbringing. What gain will I have out of it? I'll rather die in misery than to kill everybody, and what enjoyment can I have, he says. And once every one of us will think, how nice Arjuna, how compassionate you are, how kind you are. You have the heart to feel the pain of others. But don't be deluded. He was not saying all this out of compassion. If he had compassion, he would not have come to battlefield in the first place. They would not have decided to fight the war. It was a concluded war. People were there to fight. But only because of his attachment, his hand starts shivering. Gandiva falls from his hand. He falls on the seat. His throat chokes, gets fever, examination fever. I can't fight this battle. What it happens to us, right? A surgeon, when he needs to do a surgery on his own child, his hand shivers, even if he's a very good surgeon. But another's child, no problem. Because attachment comes into picture. That attachment is the reason for us to make wrong decisions in life, wrong choices in life. It could be attachment to anything, but attachments lead to wrong decision making. Therefore, decision making is the lesson that we learn from Bhagavad Gita, which we have to make it every time. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametat tau samparitya vivinakti dhira. Katopanishad says, both come in front of everyone, Shreya and Preya, the good and the pleasant. And the right kind of choice is to choose the good over what is easy and pleasant. Shreyashta dhiro. Dhiro bhi abhivrunite. The wise one picks the Shreya. And Preyo mando, foolish one, picks for what? Yoga kshemad brunite. For his own sake, for his welfare, his selfishness, he picks the easy and the pleasant option. Lower desire, as he just now said, over the higher desire. So this decision is what Arjuna is unable to make out of attachment, and he gives all kinds of lame excuses, which at times sounds like a great philosophy, but then there is this teacher Krishna listening to all this ranting of Arjuna, like I do. Okay, go on. After you finish, I will start. So the teacher has to have the patience to hear him out. Otherwise, later Arjuna will say, you didn't even allow me to express myself. You straight away started teaching something. So he allowed Arjuna to purge himself of all his ideas and sorrow. And that's how Krishna starts teaching the Bhagavad Gita. The whole chapter, first chapter, he just keeps quiet and listens to Arjuna. That's the quality of a teacher. And in this Bhagavad Gita alone, Krishna becomes a teacher. We haven't heard him become a teacher before. Maybe later again in Uddhava Gita, he will be teacher again. But first time Krishna assumes the role of teacher. Though Krishna and Arjuna are very good friends. So far they were friends. But suddenly Krishna assumes the role of a teacher. And he does not open his mouth and start teaching as second chapter. Till Arjuna says, Shishyasteham, I am your Shishya. I surrender to you. I don't know what I am doing. Shadimam, instruct me. Tvam prapanna, I surrender to you. You become my guru and teach. Till then, Krishna does not even open his mouth. All I'm trying to say is that he doesn't start teaching Arjuna the truth. Till Arjuna himself says, I surrender to you, consider me as your disciple, as a student, as a pupil, and teach me, please. I say when the Shishya is ready, the disciple is ready, Guru appears. And that's how Krishna becomes the teacher at that moment. And then starts his teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Such a wonderful text. Such practical examples, such practical teachings. It was valid 5,000 years ago, it's valid today, it will be valid even 5,000 years from now. If you invest your time and energy in learning Bhagavad Gita, that investment will never go bad. All other knowledge, I don't know. Till yesterday, there was one way we were living. After pandemic, our lifestyle has changed. Look at the contextual teaching. When you are in the middle of this situation, that's when Krishna wants to teach. He could have taught all this to Arjuna before and saved time on the battlefield. See, Arjuna, don't get confused when you go there by seeing your own people. This is the truth. He didn't teach. He took him all the way to the battlefield in the middle of both the armies, in front of his favorite uncles, teachers, grandfather, and then created the confusion in his head and then started teaching Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna definitely had a good heart. At least he felt that people will suffer. So that is why Arjuna is also a deserving disciple. I call him as a Purva Tapa. Before an action is undertaken, you must think of the consequences. That's called Purva Tapa. After the action is done and everything is over, that is Paschatapa. That is remorse or regret later. But somebody who can think ahead of action, he is a better person. So Arjuna was a better among the 5 Pandavas because he thought of the consequences of the action. But at the end, he surrenders to Krishna. Somewhere later it will come. Nashto moha smritir labdha. He said, my attachments are gone. And now I have regained my discrimination, my right decision making power. And he says, Karishye vachanam tava, I shall do as you teach me to do. So the whole Bhagavad Gita goes on, and finally at the end, Arjuna says, I have lost my delusion, this detachment. And I have surrendered myself to you. I am ready to follow whatever your teaching is. So this is a journey from the Arjuna who was attached, because of which he could not take the right decision. That is where a jiva stands today. All the way Bhagavad Gita takes him to the 18th chapter, final chapter. And there Arjuna says, I am ready to fight the battle now. I have understood why I should fight the battle. Not for my sake, not for taking a revenge, not for killing the cousins who have done wrong to us, but for the sake of Dharma, I have to fight the battle. I have understood that point now. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And in our lives, every day, every moment, some decision has to be made. And that decision becomes difficult when there is an attachment involved. But yet, not for the sake of myself, not the sake of yourself or anybody else, but for the sake of that Dharma, which is our bounden duty, which is why we are here. As a teacher, your Dharma is to teach. You can't favor a student and punish another for no reason. As a doctor, your duty is to treat without attachments. As musicians, your duty is to sing without expectations of rewards and appreciation. So that is the idea. Bhagavad Gita is one of the most important texts. I can't say it in enough words. Now, Sarvopanishado Gavo. If you can't read all the Upanishad, read Bhagavad Gita. And how beautiful even the Dhyana. Upanishad Gavo. Upanishads are like cows. Cows eat all the grass and they give us such nutritious milk. Like that, our rishis have gone through all the penance and sadhana and ultimately attained the realization and given us the Upanishads. And that Upanishad is their effort, their tapas, their sadhana, and we are getting it so easy. So easy. So we should be appreciative of all the great rishis who have passed on this knowledge to us. Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad, it's Brahma Vidyayam. Shankaracharya says Upanishad is Brahma Vidya. And also Yoga Shastra, it also has a methodology. There is a process, there is a logic in Shastras. Upanishad is philosophy. Shastras have logic. Shastra, it also tells you logically how to attain Brahman. Doesn't just teach you the philosophy and leave you in the dark. It teaches you gradually, step by step, how to attain that truth. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is one of the most wonderful texts. And I'm so glad that all our children are able to repeat the shlokas. And I'm sure you have understood the meaning most of the time. The meaning has been explained very simply and nicely. And Department of Music, Publications and Media who have prepared the slides and explained it, all credit goes to them for having taken the pain to do it on a daily basis. Hearty congratulations for having done this. And second chapter is a very important chapter. It is the essence. Right in the beginning, Krishna teaches so much of philosophy. I was surprised. But Krishna sets the tone for the rest of Bhagavad Gita. The second chapter, which is coming now, starting with Krishna's Upadesha, it's very, very, very important chapter. Every shloka is pregnant with so much of meaning and philosophy. And if you need to go slow on it, but it is important chapter. And whatever doubts you have, questions you have, keep writing it down, send it to Srinivas, and he will consolidate it further and send it to me. And in any of these sessions, I will keep answering these questions. And this applies to the devotees from around the world also, not just those who are sitting here, those who are e-learning from elsewhere. They also can write e-questions and they will get e-answers for that. But let us learn Bhagavad Gita. I think that's the best thing we would have done in our lives, which we will enjoy and we would truly be appreciative at the very end, because that is what is going to save us. Amrita, it says, Gita Amrutam Mahat. It gives us immortality. It removes the fear of death and gives us immortality. That is why Amrutam it is. So let us try and learn with all sincerity and pray that no impediments, no obstructions come all through the year, and we can keep learning wherever we are. Very happy. Once again, my heartfelt blessings to all those who are involved in teaching this, and also those who are learning. This is one thing that is going to help you all through your lives, and you will never regret that you have learned Bhagavad Gita. So all of you learn it with all sincerity. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. With sincerity you can attain the knowledge. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. So with that blessings, I conclude today's session.